Today we're going to talk about why I'm never going to buy another wah pedal again. Well, thanks for joining me for today's video. So my friends at Sweetwater reached out to me about, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and they just listed a bunch of different brands that they were working with and just asked me to pick something I would be interested in. And thanks to my friend Chris Sobek, he's been telling me about this wah pedal for a while now. And he's like, dude, you got to check one of these out. So one of the brands listed in that email was Morley, and I'm like, well, you know what? This might be fortuitous here. So I clicked on the link, and sure enough, they had this pedal in there. This is the Morley 2020 Lock Wah, if I'm saying that right. If not, I'll put a verbiage up here to tell you what it really is. But this is basically based on the George Lynch Dragon 2 pedal that was made years ago, and they discontinued it. And you can't get them anymore unless you want to pay a fortune for them used. So this is pretty much, from what I've heard, the same exact thing. It's a little smaller, so it fits on your pedal board a lot easier. And feature-wise, I really like this because there's several features on it that I love. Number one, you have the normal wah sweep, you know, so it's got that normal kind of wah that we're all familiar with, that sweep. It also has another sweep on it that is whoa, not wah, so it's lower. And it's got this murky kind of thing, and it's really cool, and I'll demonstrate that for you in a minute. And it has a loud knob, so it adds up to 20 decibels of boost in it. So if you want to engage the wah and get that boost, I mean, it adds that if you want it. And it also has a notch, notch knob and a wah lock switch associated with that. So if you want to do the Dire Straits thing, you know, the money for nothing, whatever the hell the name of that song is, and find that sweet spot that works for that, or any other songs or things that you want to do, you could just turn the notch knob and find the sweet spot that works for you, and it basically will lock it in as soon as you hit the lock switch. So everything's done with your feet, except for obviously when you're selecting the frequency that you want. But after that, you could just engage it with the lock switch anytime you want and get that sweet spot, you know. So there's a lot of really cool things about this wah. Now, before I get into the demonstrations, I really do like the whoa feature for a number of reasons. But number one, it's nice to have something that you can use for rhythms. Because on your typical wah sweep, what you're going to get is, and I'll demonstrate this, is it's just too high pitched, and it's got that throatiness to it that's kind of like, but when it's lowered, and then you have a full useful sweep for rhythms now, and leads, of course, but for rhythms too, because that's what I'm talking about here, you have something that sounds a lot more appropriate. It's got that murkiness to it that we all love, you know. So anyways, so let's go through the different sweeps now. So I'll start with the wah sweep, just the normal wah sweep, and I'll just play some rhythms or whatever, some chords, and then you can just hear the overall sweep of it. And by the way, I'm playing through one of my boosted captures in my quad Cortex right now, and the power amp here, the KSR power amp in my Mesa cab. So that's what you're listening to, and if you're interested in getting some awesome boosted captures for metal, I mean, I have the pack available, and I'll link that below. They're selling like crazy, and everyone's digging these. I mean, they're really nice boosted captures of all my favorite amps, and probably a lot of your favorites too that you see around me here. And I picked the right pedal that worked for each amp and the right settings and everything, and these just sound freaking awesome. So the one you're hearing is the Mesa Barba boosted in this particular video. So let's hear what this sounds like on the regular wah sweep, and then I'll switch to the whoa sweep so you can hear the difference. All right, so now I'm going to engage the whoa, and let's hear that. Now, if you ask me, the whoa sounds much better than the wah when it came to like the riffs I was playing and the notes I was playing. So let's engage some delay now. I'll put it back on wah, and then we can hear what that sounds like in the comparison again with some delay, because that's kind of how I would do this. And so let's compare them now. Okay, so let's switch to the whoa and see how that sounds. That just sounds incredible. So it really, you know, adds that, like I said, that murkiness to the sound, and it's the sweep that works for you, and you don't have to be so careful how you sweep it, you know. I mean, it gives you a lot of headroom, and I love where it starts in this really low, murky, kind of mysterious kind of setting, and I just think it sounds incredible. And if you have an amp where you wish you had a little more push, you know, so it had a little more sustain or aggression or whatever, use the loud knob and then turn that up a little bit and add some boost to it, and it really adds to the effect a lot. I only have mine at like 8 o'clock right now because I'm using high gain stuff, so I don't really need all that. But anyways, you can definitely use that if you want to. It's an option, and it's really nice to have. So another interesting thing I want to point out is when I started using the whoa function on this wah is I actually started writing something, and I'll probably end up turning this into a song or a part of a song eventually, but listen to how cool this is. And I'll start with the whoa setting, and then I'll switch to the wah setting and show you why the whoa setting is so nice with this. So this is some lower single note type passages I'm going to do with this right now, and it was really inspiring. That just sounded really cool. I was inspired to do that when I was messing around with it. So I'm going to switch to the wah setting and show you that now. So as you can see, you have more usable space in the whoa setting. So depending on what you want to do, solos, rhythms, whatever, chords, you know, it's got those options for you, and I really love the flexibility of this pedal. Let me switch back to the whoa setting and do it again. So I love the murkiness that it adds. So let's hear it in a mix real quick. I have this one song that I play quite a bit on the channel. It's called Esoteric Groove, and I just, you know, I'm going to just do one segment for you so you can hear what it sounds like in here. So I'm going to do this short segment a couple different ways, and I've always wanted to add a wah to this segment, but every time I did in the past, it just didn't sound right until I started using the whoa setting on this pedal. So I'm going to start with the wah off, and then I'll do it with the wah setting, and then I'll do it with the whoa setting and show you how this can enhance even a small section of one of your songs. So if you ask me, the Wah setting was much better. It just had that, I keep saying murky, but I can't think of a better description, but it had that lower kind of thing going on with it, and it just sounded awesome, you know. So, you know, it's just a really handy feature to have on the Wah. So, I mean, that's why I don't need to buy another Wah, because this is 2 Wahs in one. Plus you get the locking thing. If you want to notch something. So I kind of found a notch here that I'll show you, and you can lock it in either mode. You can lock it in the Wah mode or the Wah mode and find your sweet spot. So I just did a quick thing where I locked something in so I could show you. And so I have the notch at like 2 o'clock and I'm in Wah mode. So let's see what it sounds like as soon as I turn on the lock switch. Almost sounds like Striper guitars. That's probably their thing. So anyways, yeah, it's a cool feature. So if you want to do, like I said, like the Dire Straits thing or anything else, you could do that. And that's just one of many countless settings you can use in this. So I just did that to just show you a general idea of what it does. And again, you can switch it on and off with your foot. I used my hand on the last part because it's my habit here to use my hands for certain things. But anyway, so I just think that this thing has a lot to offer. Takes up very little space on your pedal board. And I love my other Morley that I've used for years on my pedal board, but this is going to replace that because now I have 2 different modes that I can use, and I just think this is really handy. So now let me show you the different modes in one of my other songs called The Sphinx. I'll just play, you know, the first part of it with the part, you know, that I use the Wah in, just to give you an idea of the different modes regarding solos. Okay, so there's the 2 different modes. So depending on your taste or the way you're writing your solos or whatever, you're going to pick one over the other. And because you can switch it with your foot, you can pick both modes depending on where you're at in your solo and what you want to do with that too. So I just think it's really cool to have those kind of options. In fact, let me just do a quick little, I don't know, isolated thing for you guys real quick on this so you can hear the difference. I'll start with the wah, and then I'll go to the whoa. Okay, sounded good. Let's switch to the whoa mode. There, I hope that gives you an idea what this will do for your solos too. And I think like with the lower notes too, it might add that kind of murkiness to some of the lower notes that you might like. In fact, let's just give that a try just for giggles here. Let me do some lower stuff and just see how it affects that. So I'll start with the wah mode, and then I'll switch to the whoa mode. Well, that was just a little impromptu thing to show you the difference between the wah and the whoa modes on lower notes for soloing and like bluesy type stuff or whatever the hell I played. Like I said, I just winged all of that. I should have planned this better, but whatever. But anyways, I really like the whoa mode for the lower notes. It just adds this moodiness to it that's just really cool. It's just a really cool kind of mood that it casts over everything, and I love it, you know. So again, I love this freaking pedal for a lot of reasons, but my two favorite reasons are the two modes that it has. The wah and the whoa modes, I think, are worth the price of admission alone. And then on top of that, you get the notch and you get the loud knob to add a little more grit and push to the pedal if you need it. So I really think that you should try this pedal out at least. I mean, it's 189 bucks. And like I said, it's kind of based on the George Lynch Dragon 2 pedal that you can't get anymore. And it's really nice that they have this available for you guys so that you can use it and not have to pay the Dragon 2 price. So anyways, I highly recommend this pedal, and I really think that you're going to like it as much as I do. And you're going to pretty much weld it to your pedal board like I'm going to and use it all the time. And you're going to love all of the different things you can do with it, and it's going to inspire you to do different things with your solos. And, you know, on that note, I was talking to Chris about this today. Yeah, there's been times in my, you know, writings that I've done for different solos, different songs over the years, that I run into like this writer's block thing where I'm like, man, I'm just not feeling the solo. It just needs something, and I feel like it could be so much better, and I don't know, it's missing something. And a lot of times it's just play the same solo, but step on the wah and add that character to it. And all of a sudden it's like, boom, the solo comes to life, and you'll start kind of massaging the notes in a different way and maybe adding or taking away some things and changing things around slightly because the wah just inspires you to do that. So not only will this wah do that, but you have two options with this wah that'll even take it up another level, you know, whether it's the whoa or the wah, you know, setting that you use. one of those settings is definitely going to work for you, and it's going to inspire you to write differently and to add different things to your solos and your rhythms as well. So try this out for your rhythms and your leads. I really think you're going to like it. And again, I want to thank Sweetwater for sending me this. And I also wanted to mention that there is an affiliate link to Sweetwater below in this description of this video. If you want to click on that and go to Sweetwater and do a search for this wah, by all means do that, because it'll help me out, but it also helps you out too, because you can get a great wah for an awesome price, and they ship really quick. And they're a great company, as we all know. I mean, Sweetwater's awesome. So please help me out by doing that. I would really appreciate it. And once again, thanks so much for watching, and I appreciate everyone who's been purchasing the Quad Cortex, Nano Cortex, ToneX, KEMPER, and NAMM capture and preset packs on my website, which is also linked below. I'm so glad you guys are digging those, and if you really want to get the best metal pack for your Quad Cortex that's already boosted, then get this pack. It's in the description as well. It's the ultimate boosted metal pack, and I'm telling you, if you have a Nano or a Quad Cortex, you're going to love these. They sound amazing, and they're of all of my favorite amps that you see on the wall here. So pick an amp, it's in there most likely, and you're going to freaking dig these. To all my Patreon supporters and subscribers, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you. And if you're new to the channel and you like what I do here, feel free to subscribe and click the bell so that you can be notified every time I either go live or come out with another episode. I got a lot more stuff coming up for you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.